Now before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to my SHOT Show 2024 sponsors. Maxpedition, Phoenix, Nightcore, Viridian Weapon Technologies, Tops Knives, and Magna Lens. Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless. We're here at SHOT Show 2024. We're at the Condor booth. Joe Flowers.
Hello, how are you doing? His shirt looks so good, I decided to match him earlier with the Condor version of it. So
I like that one better actually. I gotta
nice.
like this one, but I gotta like that one too.
I'll see if I can get him one too if I haven't given one away yet. They're nice. You can sweat like crazy in them, I promise. In Las Vegas weather. So we got some new stuff here this year. You want to get into it?
What do we got?
All right, so Walter Matthews has the Gray Pioneer out this year in 1075 high carbon steel. This has a stacked leather handle and around an approximate maybe 7-inch blade made out of 1075 high carbon steel. The stacked leather handle is very interesting because it has micarta washers on the end, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the first times we've done that for something on the Condor line. So new materials that we're liking to understand how it's working and push ourselves a little more.
Feel it out and change things up a bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because that way we're always learning, and I think that's important.
Nice.
So that's called the Gray Pioneer. It's available on Condor Tool Knives website, anywhere you get knives from. Knife Center, Blade HQ, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, all the good places, everywhere.
So a little bit swedged out on top.
Correct, yeah.
And then you got some recurve there, nice belly.
Yeah, kind of like this Bowie kind of mixed Bowie clip point.
Yeah.
Bowie style internet Bowie style point.
I go either way. I mix it up just to keep people guessing. Nice balance actually. It's just slightly forward, but that's perfect. Yeah. It's actually a fairly light, all things considered. It doesn't have a lot of weight to it.
That's important because when you have something as a blade as large as that, on your side, you don't want it to pull down your pants or anything in front of people. So it's important, but it also rides well when it's lightweight. And I think that's important. He's got another design too.
Another? Well, what are we going to see for a sheath on this?
So I believe that one is a leather sheath. If I go look over here, over there real quick, I might be able to find it. It comes with the fully welted leather sheath that can go on one side of your body with a loop on the top and of course a belt loop, but really stunning leather sheath as well.
Nice. So one thing that I do know about Walter is he always puts some sort of a pattern, and it typically relates to something from his family history or his past. So I'm going to have to ask him about that. I would definitely be curious.
Probably part of his Chilean heritage, although this is a very, very ubiquitous design that's used through tribes all the way from Scandinavia all the way to the southern South America. Yep. So it's pretty neat when you see that kind of heritage go all together. Makes for a neat design, I think.
I would say that the next design definitely has some influence from his past, because if I'm seeing what's on the blade here,
It's a Matatoa. This is the Matatoa made out of 1095 hard carbon steel with a walnut handle. Very, very interesting blade, and you can see that it has some very shark or Hawaiian-based pictographs and things here as well, or maybe from an area where he is at, but a really, really stunning piece. Smaller recurve style as well, one of these chopper machetes that makes a very, very interesting sheath that'll come with it as well. So, this is one of those side pull sheaths. That's what you kind of have to do when you start getting larger and larger in the blades, especially when they have a recurved belly like that. Yeah. Because it's hard for having a thin area here and a big area here when you have a machete or a blade. For instance, with this orange Terete that I designed, we had to make it a breakaway style versus step on in, just so it was easier to pull out and pull real quickly. This is kind of new this year as well. This is a Terete in orange. So it's a Naranja machete coming out this year that I like to use a lot in the Amazon jungle and bushcraft global trips because I can find the darn thing really easy. When you make all these tactical green and tactical brown machetes out there, they get muddy and then it's hard to find them. Yep. I like orange. I think orange is cool. We even have that in the pterosaur and other things as well.
No, I gotta say, you know, I definitely can see the Walter Matthews style in the handle. It has a very similar design language to what he's done in the past.
Like the Argyle,
Yep, which I like. You guys did a fantastic job on these liners. That's a beautiful look. I like the two-tone in there.
That's probably, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's the first time we've done it with two liners, and it really gives like a little, like a bow tie pop to a knife almost.
Yeah, no, that's cool, and very well crafted. You did a great job getting the tang very smooth to the wood, and again, fairly light. This is a reasonably thin stock, but it's going to make a real nice little camp knife. I would actually just love this. Could do some light limbing. That would be real easy. Beautiful little food prep. This
Yeah,
is
you
actually,
can cut a watermelon pretty easily in camp with that too, because it's sometimes hard to do that if you don't have a big knife.
You know, for all the times you're bringing a watermelon with you in the deep back wilderness of the jungle. You
Yeah, well, no, I mean,
don't.
I take my kids out my backyard and do a lot of canoeing and stuff too. You should come sometime and see it.
Ooh,
But
good
sometimes
idea.
we have a watermelon in there, so you never know.
No, this is very cool. Nice.
We have a new knife this year, which is kind of my take on a very specific style of boot knife, which is a Sgian Dubh. It's a traditional knife used by people of the Scottish Highlands, and they have it for a gentleman wearing a kilt. They'll have it on their dominant side in their sock. And it's a really neat knife. And at Blade Show, you see a lot of gentlemen's kilts, and I've met a couple of guys who like to do bushcrafting stuff, but I never saw a bushcraft Sgian Dubh. And Sgian Dubhs were always worn traditionally to work food and to do a little bit of protection, but I wanted to make one that was a little bit more bushcraft based, and so we made it in a more primitive style sheath that can be tucked away. It'll have Gaelic symbols on the other side. This one's one of our quick production ones. And 14C 28N. And I did some laser embellishments, you know, much like Walter does, to give it just a little bit of a different look. But it's a smaller knife that's very, very handy. You can flip it back and forth, use it for different ways, but also you can take care in knowing where the blade is because of that little notching right there. And they're not too profound notchings for having your thumb grip on a knife.
No, that's about right. It's enough for grip. It's not going to tear you up. So that's nice.
Which is hard to do in design. Sometimes it's got to be really tactical when you got to put all these notches on a knife. But if you can work with the knife's ergonomics, you can get away with those and make it so it doesn't hurt so much.
Yep. No, it's actually a very functional little shape. I like that you can kind of roll it around in your hands and kind of just a couple of different grips. And I love that you did the scallops.
Yeah.
I love designing with scallops personally because it gives you those alternate grips in a couple of different ways depending on what you're trying to do. But for me, really getting your thumb on there gives you good control.
Big
time.
time.
I do a lot of the scraping of bark and fuzz and things like that. And then this is actually a fantastic little food prep knife. Bring it into the kitchen, cut open your peppers or I do a lot of pairing with strawberries and things like that. So
exactly.
if you're going to talk about slicing watermelons, I'm going to talk about cutting strawberries.
Hey, no problem. That's 14C 28N stainless steel too, so you won't get the any of the patina you might get if you cut a tomato or something.
Very true, and also fairly durable. 14C 28N done well is a fantastic steel.
We do some stupid testing with ours, and we're really happy with the results that we've had working with this steel. We're not getting microfractures or anything like we would see on some of the other stainless steels that we've used. And we're comfortable working with it. And so it's a new design, a new product, and I think it's something really neat. And it works as a neck knife too. It also works on necks if you have to, I'm sure. Never tested that.
That's why I left myself an escape route for when the machete comes flying.
Well,
out.
I did it nicer this year, so I wasn't flipping it around, but now it's
I
all...
still have my years.
Yeah, give it time.
After all these years, I still have my years.
Most common cut that a lot of different people will use when they're doing one of the most used machetes in the United States that I know of is the Christmas tree shear. And in the ER, during Christmas tree sign, because I'm very lucky to live in North Carolina mountains where we have a rich heritage of Christmas trees, there'll be a lot of workers who come in with sliced ears, from swinging these things up like crazy and getting them right near their ears. It's kind of horrific. So be careful, watch your ears. Also watch your knees when you're using the machete stick.
I think pretty much every year we have that safety moment at the Condor booth with Joe Flowers.
Safety third. I actually have a very special pin that was given to me by, or patch that was given to me by Biz Heard Knife Reviews that has kind of gone a little bit viral. And I had to wash off blood from it the other day because it was living up to my knees.
You didn't
And
even,
whoever does this,
you didn't even get a pin?
I have a specific set of squirrels that I will use to find out who is giving these out to. And I will make sure and hug you.
No,
whoever's doing this.
mine came on the
Don't
lanyard.
tell me who. Oh, okay.
I got mine on the lanyard.
Oh, just
I
out?
got it from the show.
We're also
no,
gonna
it was
do a
in the
personal-
bin. It was in the bin with all the lanyards. That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Someone's punking me while we're here at SHOT Show 2024, everybody, and I'll find out who, but in a fun way. I'm probably going to do a video here in a minute with you and I on my Instagram thing, thanking whoever's doing this. But the mystery will be solved by the end of this trip.
Ready for the
Yep.
journey?
Yeah,
Let's
I got
go find
squirrels
them.
on them right now.
Let's go.